in media res, but our our other person dropped out due to health reasons.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
very off the cuff.
If you couldn't tell.
So what role am I assigned?
Well, we're probably just reading one chapter, so if you our other reader normally voices Peach. So if you want to fill in for that character and I guess
Have fun
Toadette.
with that.
Yeah.
As long as I can voice that Toad at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Enjoy your drink, Mom. Next.
Yeah.
that's good.
That was actually pretty good.
That's actually very good.
That is an amazing Toad. That is so much better than my Toad. Cause my Toad speaks in I think one volume, and it's just my Toad's dialogue is on caps lock.
Oh
That's
boy.
like the canon.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're recording. Hi,
Yeah,
folks.
we're live right now.
Oh dear. Hello, everyone. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible because it's late. We have a guest who really should not be here. We've dragged them against their will, and yeah.
You dragged
There
me
needs to
against my fucking will, and I've been here for about like, goddamn, an entire season.
If you want to call
Yep.
it that. I don't know if we're gonna separate these into seasons, but
Yeah.
Arcs.
So, yeah. Hi. Well, yeah.
Hello.
Arcs. Hello. This is the voice you're hearing is of Sabletooth. They are a friend on one of the other servers I frequent, and they are our other reader for today because Nova's not here. Unfortunately, Nova's still kind of recovering from whatever they had, and well, we wish him well.
Yes.
Yep.
He really is the Chad to our collective virgins. We love you so much. Daddy loves you. Kiss, kiss.
And yeah, that's Tanner, and Harry is here recording our
yeah,
raving lunatic rants
yeah, I'm still
So-
here as always.
against your will. And yeah, I'm Scrappy Fan 92. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with Scrappy. We are continuing our read-through of The L Stands for Loser, and I apologize for the lateness of this. This was supposed to be read yesterday, but Tanner had work obligations, so he could not record yesterday.
Yeah, and I just got off. Well, I got off at 1. I work from 6 to 1, and in between 1 and 7 right now, or 9 right now, almost 10, but in between 1 and 7, time did not exist for me. I crashed, and right now, this 10 p.m. feels like afternoon, and I'm still really tired. So for this episode, and this episode only, Luigi will be a narcoleptic.
Ain't that a mood?
I feel like isn't that just a plot of Mario and Luigi theme?
Come on.
And,
The plot
Well
what?
then, we can work with that. So, as I explained to Sabletooth, I'd like to say off-screen, but Harry might have been recording at that point. What was saying, Tanner?
Sabletooth?
Yes, Sabletooth.
You can just say Sable, and that works as well.
Okay.
Oh, it is Sabletooth. Nice.
Yes, it's a wordplay.
Yeah, like horse.
No, it's a play on saber tooth. You know, saber tooth tigers.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
The animal called Sable, which is a marten. Yeah, and that's
Yeah, I'm sorry. It took me a
nothing to do with horses.
Yeah, sorry, it took me a while. I was thinking of stable. I'm still really tired, so my mind is making connections that don't make any fucking sense.
Stable tooth actually is also pretty clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the alternate universe Sable tooth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where he's an MLP
Yeah, well. Okay, so anyway, we are continuing our read through of the L stands for loser, and Sable gets to be our guest in media res for all of this. This we are on chapter
Oh
16.
boy.
Yeah, we are on chapter 16, which is not the finale, but it's the beginning of a three-part arc, which I consider kind of like just the turning point of the whole story. Like after 15 chapters of just like emotional abuse, physical abuse, Luigi literally getting killed and sent to the underworld at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And coming back with no explanation.
yeah, like complete like familial neglect, bad breakups, and bad TV. Like Luigi's been through a lot.
It all comes tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down.
It will in this chapter. But this is
I wish you
the
guys
thing.
could make custom thumbnails so that it could be like Luigi's giant head while rising upward while Mario and Peach look onward. Like the fucking end of Ava.
I mean, I could maybe do that with like Paper Mario characters and some Photoshop.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Sable, in their infinite bliss, has volunteered to be our reader for today. So they'll be handling Peach and Toadette and a few other incidentals for this chapter. So I guess without further ado, I guess we can get started. This is the L stands for loser by the Wimpzilla, chapter 16, Bogey Beatings. Luigi had been staring at the Welcome to Starbeam sign for 15 minutes. He couldn't believe it was taking this long to get one coffee, but then again, you should never underestimate a kingdom's need for crushed beans and hot water.
Jeez, how long does it take to make one cup of coffee?
Luigi asked with boredom in his voice.
At least it's not as bad as the one over there.
The toad in front of him pointed out. Luigi glanced over to the second Starbeans coffee shop they had built across the one already in the Coconut Mall. The line was even longer, and yet toads waited patiently for their own double soy latte banana bonanza swirl mocha with extra whipped cream. A few feet to the left of the line, he saw Mario exit the bathroom, wiping his wet hands on his pant legs.
They do have paper towels, you know.
Luigi informed Mario, stepping back to let him back in line. Mario replied with a shrug as he resumed his position in line. Hoping to pass the time with conversation, Luigi brought up the subject of the upcoming Golden Hammer Awards for the 23rd time today.
There's no doubt I'm winning the award for most honorable mention this year. So the only question is whether my speech will thank my parents or the Academy first. Wait till you hear the opening joke.
Mario lost what little interest he had in Luigi's speech as the percolating bean scent invaded his nose. It was bad and good at the same time, much like the drink itself.
It's the most
Toad-
accurate depiction of Starbucks I've ever heard. The most accurate description.
The toad at the counter passed a double-shot espresso to the customer and said with a 12-coin-an-hour smile,
Oh my god, he's dead.
pardon me, and with a 12-coin-an-hour smile said, "Enjoy your drink, ma'am. Next."
Oh, did my voice not go through?
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
Oh, sorry.
it's cool.
I did. My bad.
Oh no, it's fine. Luigi walked up to the counter.
I'd like your richest Colombian, espresso?
Bean espresso.
Bean espresso?
Right away, sir. Be 24 coins.
24 coins? 24 coins?
I just read what the price sheet says, sir.
The toad then went to the coffee machine behind the counter and began filling one of the many sleeved cups with a frothy beverage. Luigi had a coronary.
What gives you the right to charge people so much on coffee? Were these beans delivered upon the backs of an army of golden pegasi, one by one from the heavens above? Was the water bottle at the tallest freshwater springs of the Alps and transported here via a rip in the space-time continuum? Were lives risked in the making of this coffee?
No, dude, I just...
The cashier remarked as he set the cup on the counter. Luigi squinted his eyes angrily, focusing every isotope of hatred in his being towards the employee of the exorbitant establishment, and pulled out his wallet. He dropped 24 coins on the table without breaking eye contact with the scammer, and swiped the hot beverage off the countertop without another word.
What's his problem?
Asked the cashier as Mario walked up.
Wait a minute, you're Mario, aren't you? That means you get our new Heroes discount of 90% off of all hot brewed beverages.
Luigi ran back to the counter.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why didn't you mention this Heroes discount to me?
I don't think you're eligible. The only thing you ever did was suck up ghosts with a vacuum in hopes of saving the brother you put in peril in the first place. Which reminds me...
The cashier snapped a photo of Mario without warning. By the time the red plumber's eyes refocused, the cashier was extending his Heroes membership card.
He gets a card?
Oh boy, I get to use my Jack McBrayer voice again. Parakarry interjected. Yeah, it gives you special privileges like skipping to the front of the line.
Hey, Parakarry, you want the usual?
Lay it on me. The cashier tossed him a specially prepared dark roast with extra whipped cream and 2 cherries on top.
Would you like to use our private club today?
The cashier then opened the door with restricted area printed on the front to reveal flashing multicolored lights and pumping music. Nah, I'm just using the hot tub today.
Excellent choice.
And with that, the toad opened the employees only door. As steam poured out of the hidden room, Luigi's jaw slammed onto the floor. Parakarry ripped off his uniform to reveal his Hawaiian swim trunks underneath. Hey Mario, you coming with? Oh hey ladies. Many girls responded at once with a playful "Hey Parakarry," followed by giggling. Mario snatched the card and followed Parakarry into the room, slamming the door behind him.
Why did man get the card?
Luigi shouted angrily as the next customer was tended to.
He helped. Mario saved the princess, remember?
The cashier said between customers.
They even threw a ball for him and the other ones.
Luigi stormed out of the establishment, angered and frustrated. How dare they insinuate Luigi wasn't a hero?
How dare they insinuate I'm not a hero? I've done plenty of heroic things, like sucking up ghosts with a vacuum!
Luigi sadly sipped his bean espresso.
That's some good coffee.
Luigi took another bittersweet sip of the brew. His tux rental wouldn't be ready for another hour, so he streamed around the mall looking at the items in the windows. He saw the standard McShy Guys and JC Wendy's that littered every mall in the kingdom. But it was after passing his third Cinnabon Bombs that he saw it. a single Nintendo P in the window of Blooper's Barrel of Fun store. It glowed under the...
I really hate that Nintendo P made me smirk as much as it did.
It glowed under the fluorescent lights of the mall like a shining beacon of joy and merriment. The stores had been out of them for months, and when a store told Luigi they had three left in stock over the phone, they were always sold out by the time Luigi got there. Luigi turned to enter the store when he saw he wasn't the only person who spotted the beautiful box in the window. The two locked eyes in preparation for the epic battle to come. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that Luigi. And there's nothing you can do about it, his opponent stated, attempting to put fear in his rival.
We'll see about that, Dexter.
Luigi responded. Brief moments later, a 24-coin drink splattered against the tiled floor of the mall as the two raced for the glorious box. It's mine!
No! No, it's mine!
Fat chance, Greenie!
You leave my mother out of this!
More blurts of rage were expelled as the duo pulled the box in opposite directions, threatening to tear it apart. But through the ensuing Yo Mama fight, Luigi felt his smooth gloves losing its grip on the box. He was going to lose it at any second. Oh yeah? Well, Yo Mama is so stupid, she took a spoon to the Super Bowl.
Your mama is so dumb, she jumped out a window and fell up!
That doesn't even make sense, Luigi.
You don't make sense!
My eyes missed that line.
Fine. But before anyone could comment on Luigi's lack of ability to make a proper comeback, his glove finally slipped and let go of the box. One would think Dexter would be victorious after Luigi's slip-up, but physics had other plans. The force of Dexter's tugging sent him flying into the Guitar Zero Orange Button to the Extreme demo upon the box's release of Luigi's grasp. Luigi watched as the entire stand came crashing on top of Dexter.
Hush!
Luigi screamed with sincere worry in his voice.
Is anything broken?
Luigi digged his way through the rubble, hoping against the odds that nothing horrible had happened. Removing the second half of the now broken plasma screen, he saw a hand limply clutching the box. He began scooping out the strands of wire and broken pieces of plastic around Dexter's hand until he could fully see the damage. He was relieved to see that only a few scratches He was relieved to see only a few scratches here and there, and that everything was okay. Grateful nothing happened to one of the most important things to him, Luigi bent over and lifted the Nintendo P out of the mountain of choking hazards and carried it to the cashier, leaving Dexter buried under the banners and promotional cardboard cutouts.
One Nintendo P, please.
Luigi said, setting the box onto the counter. The employee at the counter only took a fraction of a second to glance at the box before stating,
That's just a display box. There's no P in it.
Oh no, Mom found the piss box.
Oh no, what the hell?
Hey, yo, girl, what that piss box do?
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Excuse me?
Luigi said as triumph disappeared from his face. The employee spun the box around and pointed to the display box written in small writing in the corner.
Wait, you led me to believe that there was still a console to buy?
Nah, it's just to let customers know that we carry the product.
Why not just put up a sign?
It's not my job to care. If you don't mind, could you take this box and kindly shove it up there? What the?
The employee cut off his rude comment as he glanced up from his Nintendo Power issue and saw the carnage of the Guitar Zero demo.
Who did this?
Dexter feebly raised his hand in response and pointed at Luigi before letting it fall limply onto the rubble again. Luigi was about to explain the misunderstanding, but was painfully blinded by a white light that burned his retinas. Once vision had returned to him, he saw the employee pinning a photo of his profile on the wall next to... He saw the employee pinning a photo of his profile on the wall next to one of Bowser Jr., the Wario Brothers, and a nondescript Koopa.
What's that?
Luigi asked, squinting through his bleary vision. The employee hopped off the stepladder and pointed at Luigi, stating,
You are hereby banned from shopping at this retailer for life.
What? But this is the only carrier of Nintendo Ps for miles!
Luigi whined.
Too bad. Maybe you'll think about that next time before you go breaking promotional stands and children's bones.
The employee said, motioning towards Dexter with 3 of his 4 small limbs in casts and being hauled away on a gurney. Hey, I think I see a light. It's so pretty. Dexter said as he reached for the non-existent light with his only good arm. I'm here, pretty lighty.
I better make sure he's okay. I better make
Luigi
sure he's okay.
Luigi said as he ran after the gurney. He sprinted out of the store, focusing on the gurney when he should have been focusing on the ground. Particularly the spot on the ground with a 24-coin spill all over it. Meanwhile, Toadette squealed with joy.
My God, these shoes are so cute!
Toadette posed in the mirror and admired her sparkling crimson shoes.
But these are so expensive. Are you sure I can afford these?
Are you kidding? Look at all this cash, Daisy said, pulling out a fistful of cash from her pocket.
Oh, where did you get all that loot?
Toadette asked, astonished one could hold so many bills in such a dainty hand. I was driving down the highway putting on my mascara, Daisy stated, when I swerved and hit a parked car. So naturally, I sued the restaurant the car was parked in front of. And they gave me 12 million coins for it. Toadette's mouth was agape. So do you want the shoes or not? Daisy said, setting her impressive mountain of shoe boxes on the cashier counter. Toadette snapped out of it at the sound of free shoes and placed her single pair next to Daisy's solid wall of branded products. As the cashier began a toil of swiping every box across the scanner, Toadette brought up the subject of Daisy's ill-gotten money.
Oh, you don't feel guilty at all about stealing so much money from a family-run business?
Steal? Daisy screamed, insulted at such an accusation. This money was earned. I don't have to buy you shoes, you know. Toadette remained quiet. The cashier, swiping Toadette's shoes last, read the monitor and said, $1,034.12.
Jeez, Daisy.
Toadette said, no longer afraid of losing her shoes due to speaking.
Do you really need all of those shoes?
No, but it feels like the more stuff I get, the more happy I am. Like it fills a void or something, Daisy said. Not that I'm depressed or anything, she quickly added.
Yeah, I just have that white feeling too.
Toadette consoled as she removed the shoes from the counter.
But not anymore.
What happened? Daisy said. Toadette was about to answer when someone came up behind her.
Guess who?
Toad said playfully, covering Toadette's eyes from behind. Toadette responded with a giggle.
Could it be my boyfriend?
Toadette said, playing along with the game.
Ding ding ding! We have a winner!
Toad leaned over and pecked Toadette on the cheek.
You ready to go?
I
Yeah.
really like this Curly Howard ASMR you've got going on here.
Yeah.
Toadette said, following her boyfriend out of the store.
See you later, Daisy. We're going to the cinema.
Okay, see you guys. Daisy yelled very quietly to the couple. She grabbed an armload of shoes and left the store with some difficulty fitting through the front door. Lacking X-ray vision, Daisy was blinded by her mountain of high heels. Tanner, do you want to handle Gurney Pusher 1?
Alright, I can't believe this kid is even arrived right now.
Shouted one of the Gurney Pushers. Daisy heard the scream just in time and leapt out of the way of the speeding Gurney. However, she wasn't fast enough to react to the second scream.
Oh, my mic was off. Sorry. God damn, I am off today.
Whoa!
Luigi screamed as he slipped on his previously spilled bean espresso. He glided across the ground, failing to regain his balance until he made a hard collision with an armload of box shoes and the princess carrying them. Daisy and Luigi were sent flying, along with 30 pairs of shoes in all directions. 20 minutes later, Luigi and Daisy remained motionless on the ground as the Gurney team arrived on the scene.
I don't see why this male has to be so accident-prone.
Complained the Gurney operator.
This place is just a magnet for morons.
Seriously. Remember when those idiots were racing through here on carts and bikes?
Yeah, so which one do we get first? Oh, snap! It's that lawsuit girl I saw on TV last night.
You mean that chick who got millions by smashing her car into one that was already parked?
Imagine how much she'll get from us after this.
Quick, get her to the hospital wing before she wakes up. The two toads scurried over to the limp princess and placed her
Sweet
delicately.
toads. Some very
What?
some very deep-voiced toads there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. The two toads scurried over to the limp princess and placed her delicately onto the rolling bed as to not do any possible injury, and raced to the infirmary. Once they arrived, they had the very daunting task of moving her onto the bed.
Okay, I'll get the feet, and you get the arms.
I think I should get the feet. You're stronger.
Just do it before she wakes up.
The toads grabbed her by the arms and ankles and hoisted her off the bed and held her in midair for 1 second before the toad holding the arms lost his grip and watched her head smack on the granite floor. You idiot! The second toad screamed, throwing his hands into the air and dropping her feet in the process.
I told you to take the head.
Well, I didn't think you'd be stupid enough to just drop her head!
I'm nervous, okay?
Where am I?
Alright.
The two...
I'm not even in this part. What am I doing?
The two toads looked down towards Daisy, who was blinking and rubbing her head. Before anyone could say, "Oh man, do something quick!" Daisy was smacked across the face with a frying pan. She immediately went unconscious and flopped back onto the floor. You're such an idiot,
Like she's going to remember.
replied the coworker as he glanced at his watch.
Oh, hey, it's already 10 minutes past quitting time.
Sweet, let's go.
What about the other guy?
You can wait till morning, and the all-you-can-gulp soup special at Mushroom Garden isn't gonna last forever.
What? Was it today? Waiting for.
And with that, the two skipped out of the infirmary together, arm in arm. An hour later, Mario, covered with lipstick kiss stains all over his face, and soggy clothes he had to wear in the hot tub due to lacking a bathing suit, repeatedly kicked Luigi until he came to. Said the plumber as he blinked his eyelids open. Pushing himself up into the sitting position, he rubbed his bruised noggin and looked up at his older brother. Mario had already picked up their tux rentals.
Oh, man. Hey, Mario, what time is it?
Mario showed him his wristwatch. 7:33 p.m.
Oh, man!
Luigi yelled.
We're late for the Golden Hammer Awards!
Dragging his brother out of the mall, Luigi took the green tux from Mario and tossed him the keys. Mario, displaying his masculinity as always, leapt into the driver's seat of the Red Fire, started the ignition, put on his seatbelt, shifted gears, and pumped up the volume on the radio all in one motion. Luigi, in the same moment of time, managed to grip the backseat rider's bar, which was not road safe in the slightest. He got one arm and one sleeve of his tux before Mario sped out of the parking lot. Grabbing the bar with both hands, Luigi barely prevented himself from being flung off the cart as Mario drifted out the parking lot and onto the highway. Taking red streetlights and stop signs as mere suggestions rather than the law, Mario floored the gas pedal and shot down the highway.
Mario! My fingers are slipping!
However, Mario couldn't hear his brother's pleas to slow down over the sound of him about to introduce a speed-boosting mushroom to the car engine. As the scene around Mario blurred, he took notice that the radio was coming in more clearly, as if a loud and irritating sound was taken away all of a sudden. Back on Highway 23, Luigi was bouncing and skidding across the asphalt. He was fortunate enough to not have put on his tux because his clothes were disintegrating from the friction. Many high-speed face plants later, Luigi skidded to a stop a mile from the castle. His clothes were scratched and his body was bruised. The right strap of Luigi's overalls was torn apart, leaving only the left strap to bear the weight. But in a rare stroke of luck, his expensive rental tux had received no harm. Good thing, too, since his shirt was shredded to pieces. But he lost the pants that went with the torso to the traffic. Deciding his overall pant legs would have to do, Luigi began his sprint to the castle. Meanwhile...
And our winner is... Piranha, for most featured secondary character.
Petey sprung up from his seat in shock and in excitement. Waddling as fast as his stubby legs would allow, Petey bounded up the steps of the podium and cradled his hammer in his leafy arms.
Kitty, do you have any words to say?
Petey stared blankly at the crowd for a while. Failing to put his emotions into words, he made the demonic screech he always did and returned to his seat. The nominees for the next award were being called off as a sweaty and panting Luigi slipped quietly into the room. Red velvet and black clothing as far as the eye could see, with tears of joy and disappointment in the eyes of those tentatively paying attention to Peach's every word.
And Monty Moles, our nominees. And our winner...
Peach paused and slowly opened the envelope for dramatic effect. The attendees leaned in closer in eagerness. Who was going to get it? Peach continued. Luigi found his seat next to his brother, who was already asleep. The top half of the note had emerged from the letter by now.
None other than...
Peach spoke slowly, the nominees soiling themselves.
the person we all know and love.
The letter was now completely out of the envelope. There was a pause. A collective gasp sounded through the room. Heartbeats were racing.
Bowser for best mullet.
Only one person showed any emotion in the audience, and that person was already racing for the podium. Oh yeah! Oh yeah, baby! You know it! Bowser yelled as he pumped his fists high into the air. You jerks couldn't have better mults if your lives depended on it! Meanwhile, the Secret Service, guarding the perimeter of the awards ceremony, were busy nodding to the beat of their favorite tunes. What else would those ear things be for? Communication? Please. And so could not hear what was going on in the show. Bowser's excitement and erratic arm flailing were mistaken for a surprise attack on the princess. In their first showing of competence in the known history of Earth, the Toads collectively tackled an unsuspecting Bowser to the ground and began beating him with foot-long subs. They couldn't afford actual weapons since they blew the budget on cool-looking earphones, but Bowser's severe allergic reactions to the bell peppers within the subs was enough to subdue him. Stop it! I'm just getting my award. I didn't totally cheat to get. I'm allergic. Bowser was forced to stop mid-sentence as a loose bell pepper was flung from the sub sandwich and landed in Bowser's gaping pie hole. Oh no! I just swallowed a bell pepper. Breathe.
Do any of you guys hear what he is saying?
What? Eh?
Huh?
What'd he say?
I can hear you guys. What?
Doctor! Bowser gasped. A Goomba bounced up from a nearby seat.
I'm a medical professional. Perhaps I can be of...
But before the Goomba could get any closer, one of the Secret Service members spun around on him.
Back off, civilian. We're handling the situation. Unless, of course, you want a face full of sub.
The service member shouted over his pumping tunes, waving the sandwich dangerously about. The Goomba backed off, but not without concern.
Oh my god! His face! It's turning blue!
Shrieked a nearby Noki over the soft dunks of bread and veggies hitting the Koopa King.
This is a great scene.
Meanwhile, what happened? Daisy said as she awoke on the ground. Her head was throbbing with pain. With boredom in his voice, Dexter said, You're at the Maltz Hospital, and you got knocked unconscious. What? How did I get knocked un... Bam. As Daisy hastily sprung up, she hit her head against the underside of a low shelf and fell back into her original position on the ground. Like that, for the 5th time now, Dexter stated as he returned his attention to his comic book. Back at the awards ceremony.
Hello, this is Tina Toad at the Golden Hammer Awards. Over the break, local baddie Bowser Koopa was beaten within an inch of his life with submarine sandwiches thanks to the quick actions of the TSSS. Now we turn live to the awards ceremony. And here is Magic Koopa here to accept the Golden Hammer for Bowser.
Peach announced into the microphone. I guess he's supposed to be Kamek.
Yeah, Magic Koopa's coming.
Yeah.
Thank you all, Magic Koopa began. On behalf of Bowser, allow me to say...
Sorry, Bowser's speech time was already used on hoagie beatings.
Peach said quickly as she unceremoniously shoved Magic Koopa off the stage.
Now that we've reached halftime, it's time for the Golden Hammer for most honorable mention.
Luigi sat up straight. His heart was racing. He could feel the beads forming on his head. It was now or never. It was time.
Our nominees include Blooper,
3 spots left.
Rosalina,
2 spots left.
Gina. Who the heck is Gino?
Oh,
1 spot left. Ellipses.
Oh, sorry, my thumb was over the last name. And our last nominee is Luigi.
A single. Yes! He made it from the crowd.
Who is that? Why do you sound like me? Who are you, demon? There is an
Our
imposter.
winner is, drumroll, Luigi.
Uproarious applause sounded from the crowd. Although he knew he was going to win, it was still a joyous surprise to hear his name announced as the winner. Luigi felt like he was dreaming as he strutted down that red carpeted walkway. Each step of those black marble steps onto the stage, Luigi felt his charisma and confidence rise with him. Turning to the blinding spotlights, the large crowd seemed to blend together as one cheering blob of multicolored dots, all appraising Luigi's accomplishments.
Is your golden hammer.
Peach said with a sincere smile as she passed the statuette to Luigi.
And your honorary badge of achievement.
Peach pinned a shining emblem to his shirt. She then motioned Luigi to the microphone. This was his moment. This was his moment now, and no one was going to take it away from him.
I don't know what to say.
Luigi spoke into the mic.
Well, I guess first I would like to thank.
Without warning, a squad of toads burst through the entrance to the award ceremony. The voice went so high, it cut out after stop.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Stop!
There it is again.
Ah! I'm sorry. Maybe somebody else can take that part.
Stop everything!
That was
Now
pretty
please
good.
raise.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now please raise your hand if you knew someone was going to take it away from him, even though it was stated they wouldn't. Okay, put your hand down. You look stupid.
What is the meaning of this?
Peach asked, miffed that someone thought they could just boss her around like that. Between fatigued gasps, the lead toad explained,
We found this.
He then held up a soggy green book.
What's this?
Peach asked, inspecting the damaged book.
Found it in forest. Look at
The toad wheezed before collapsing at Luigi's feet. Peach opened the book and read aloud.
Journal log day 3. I might be the only survivor left, and this may be my final entry as I have eaten all of the other pages for nourishment. If you come across this journal, please let this be known to the world.
Luigi knew those illegibly scribbled words anywhere. Allegedly scribbled words anywhere, because he wrote them down before he was attacked by a bear not long ago.
To Mario, if he's still alive, tell him that I always loved him, even when he would bury my inhaler in the yard.
Peach continued.
To Peach, I was the one who licked your cake on your 12th birthday. You don't mean...
Yes! Finally, after decades of forensic research and countless investigation, we have culprit of the cake-licking crime!
Boasted the toads.
That is a full confession in black and white!
How is the licked cake more important than my speech?
Luigi demanded, though the question was more out of fear than anger.
Because that licked slice of cake ruined my life forever.
Peach said flatly.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the flash. Oops.
No, I've been screwing up my line reads and deliveries this entire time.
Yeah. I wasn't reading ahead.
Y'all are fine.
Yeah. You want to know why? Because that cake licker was carrying chicken pox. And I ate a part of the cake he licked 3 days before school pictures. All the way until junior prom, they called me the pimple princess. Because of that polka dotted face. I was so humiliated, and I swore if I ever found the person who caused this to me, they would pay dearly.
Well, I think I'll just take my hammer and
Luigi stuttered as he recalled his miraculous healing of the chickenpox, just in time for Peach's party back in 6th grade, realizing he must have still been carrying it.
Is there any clue as to who wrote this?
Peach demanded, ignoring Luigi. Oh gosh.
We noticed this green L insignia on the inside of the cover of the book. Much like the L on that man's hat over there.
Peach did a double take as Luigi froze to the spot, regretting his
upside down gamma sign.
Peach did a double take as Luigi froze to the spot, regretting his personal customizations to his journal. After looking between the L in the book and the L above Luigi's perspiring forehead for the 3rd time, Peach glared at Luigi and simply mouthed the word "you," which was enough to make the man wet himself.
Oh no.
Finally, things were getting interesting at these drawn-out award shows.
Luigi, I hereby strip you of your award.
Shouted Peach, taking the golden hammer out of Luigi's hands.
And your honorary badge of achievement.
And ripped the shiny pin from Luigi's outfit. The pin, unfortunately, was applied very tightly, so that when it was pulled off, it decided to bring a $200 tuxedo rental with it, ripping it up in the process. However, this was the least of Luigi's worries, as the pin was also pierced through the only shoulder strap of Luigi's overalls that was keeping his pants suspended. It also ripped with the mighty force of an enraged princess, and Luigi's pants fell to the floor, leaving nothing to cover Luigi's naked body except for his Share Bears limited edition printed undies. As the crowd stared in stunned silence, Mario flipped out his camera phone to take a few blackmail photos.
I am estranging you from my family, you piece of shit!
There's a spot on the front!
Can you repeat that, please?
Sorry.
Gross! There's a wet spot on the front!
Toadette shouted from the audience. Luigi couldn't fight back the tears. Bearing his face in his hands, Luigi ran off the stage and sprinted for the door. Actually, he tripped on his fallen trousers and tumbled down the steps. But he got up and then ran crying to the door.
Tina Toad here.
Tina said, giving no mind to what was happening on stage.
With further coverage of the Bowser / Bell Pepper story.
The cameraman was getting a shot of Bowser being carried away by a stretcher.
Man, I can't believe we have to work after hours at the castle.
Said the lead stretcher carrier, earlier seen at the mall.
I know!
No, on all you can go day 2. Lame. Luigi couldn't see what was in front of him as he was covering his shame, and just missed the stretcher by inches. Lucky? Not at all, because as he passed one of Bowser's shell spikes snagged on the elastic of Luigi's tighty whities and ripped it off. He stopped in his tracks, too shocked to move. Mario snapped some more blackmail photos. Peach got her revenge. And Channel 3 News' live feed of the award ceremony was immediately cut off. Covering himself with his hat, Luigi ran out of the castle. The cold night air nipped at him, but his fiery anger kept him warm on his embarrassing trek home. No one could ever respect him now. Not that they ever did. Just looking at the day alone, no one showed any regard for Luigi. He was excluded from a Heroes Card membership. He was banned from a store for a simple mistake. He was ignored when he was in need of medical attention, and the only thing he ever wanted was taken away from him because of a cake in the past. No one respected him as a hero, not even his brother. It was decided before he reached for the doorknob of his house that if his work as a hero was only going to be ignored, and he wasn't going to bother with these ungrateful people, his talents would be better used elsewhere. The first thing he needed were clothes, and he had just the thing in mind: a pair of black overalls, dark gloves, and an eye mask to match. He got them from the box farthest in the back. He got them from the box farthest in the back of the attic, where he also found a hat with his L insignia reflected horizontally on it, surrounded in black. All finished off with a styling green ascot. Mr. L was back in town. On the following morning, Mario came down the stairs caressing his 3 golden hammers for outstanding performance, best mustache, and most kittens set ablaze and shoved out of an airplane window. He noticed Luigi and his Mr. L getup waiting patiently at the table, with breakfast already prepared and piping hot. He hadn't touched his food. He just sat there twiddling his thumbs.
Oh, there you are, Mario. Sit down. Eat.
Luigi said flatly. Mario took his seat, giving a look at Luigi's sudden change in behavior. But he never questioned delicious bacon when he saw it, so he started digging into his plate. Luigi started eating when Mario took his first bite, and began talking, almost to himself.
I've noticed lately that I'm not exactly in your league, Mario. Needless to say, you've served the princess more to me, but I've done enough to garner respect. But it seems like I'm not getting it. Not as much as you, Mario. It would seem that my accomplishments pale in your presence. As if I did nothing. You seem to be an obstacle for me, and the fame I've deserved from these civilians. So I'm turning to the dark side.
Mario choked on his scrambled eggs when he heard this.
Shocked? Yeah, I thought you might be. But it seems that my obstacle also seems to be my largest problem. I was never respected by you, Mario. I was just the silly little brother to you, wasn't I? So my first move will be to get rid of my largest problem and biggest obstacle first. You.
Mario was shocked and caught off guard from this news, but he was further unnerved when Luigi asked him a question.
Would you like to know how I plan on doing that?
Mario cautiously nodded. Luigi held up a clear glass bottle with a thick white liquid swirling inside of it. The label pictured a skull and crossbones and had one word printed across it. Poison.
I've already done it.
Mario looked at his plate, which was empty with only tiny crumbs left. He looked at Luigi's plate, and there everything was eaten, except for the scrambled eggs that went untouched. His eyes bulged out of fear, and he ran to the phone, falling to the floor. His chair was attached to his buttocks, and tripped Mario when he tried to stand upright. Luigi dropped the axe and started laughing his own butt off as he ripped the printed label off of the bottle and revealed the actual label underneath. Blue.
Oh man, you totally fell for it!
Luigi laughing. Luigi laughed as he fell out of his chair. Mario, somewhat relieved, got up and brushed off his pant legs. Though he had to do this in a bent-over position thanks to the chair attached to his derriere. At least his brother wasn't an actual villain, though.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm going over to the dark side. These people need to learn to not mess with this guy.
Luigi then headed out the front door, wiping a last tear off of his cheek.
By the way, I put the glue solvent over on the bookshelf. By the way, I put the glue solvent over on the bookshelf.
Luigi then shut the door behind him. Mario looked over at the bottle labeled glue solvent. He waddled to the bookshelf and reached up for the bottle. Normally he could get it easily, but doubled over like this, the tips of his fingers could barely touch the underside of the shelf where the bottle sat. As Mario tried to grow his arms longer by really stretching them, he thought to himself, "Let this take a little." That's like his first quote-unquote spoken line in this whole story.
He's had internalized thoughts in previous chapters. By the way, I'm gonna make this joke now, so I don't have to do it later.
Mario, when I come out, could you introduce me as Mr. L?
At the park, sorry, I just didn't get the reference.
No, it was Joker.
All right. That's Mario down. Only.
Luigi,
All right.
Luigi,
Mario down.
Luigi said to himself.
Only several more people to go. Jesus.
And then, just like that, he spotted the next person on his list at the top of the next hill, playing his Nintendo BS. A whiny little nerd. A whiny little nerd that cost Luigi a Nintendo P and admittance to the largest supplier of them, Dexter.
Hey, Luigi.
Dexter said as Luigi tried to sneak up on him.
I am not Luigi.
Luigi said with disappointment in his voice that he failed to be sneaky in broad daylight with nothing to hide behind, while wearing attention-drawing clothing.
I am the villain, formerly known as Luigi, or Mr. L for short.
Didn't I see you last night on channel 3?
Not to say, that was pretty disturbing.
Shut up! By the way, what's that you're playing?
Oh yeah, they remade an old school game that was originally exclusive to Japan.
Really? Let me see.
Mr. L said as he snatched the BS out of Dexter's hands.
Hey, I was right at the save point.
Oh, well, if you want it so bad, then jump for it. Come on, jump for it.
Mr. L taunted as he waved the BS over Dexter's head. Dude, I'm in a wheelchair. Dexter said as he pointed out his broken leg from the day before.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. I wonder if I can connect to another BS from here. Oh. Did that come through?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was talking to someone else. One of our other actors came in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'll be here next episode.
Okay.
I wonder if I can connect to another BS from here. Mr. L wondered out loud. Before he threw the BS frisbee style 50 yards down the hill, and with uncanny accuracy. Wait. Before he threw the BS frisbee style 50 yards down the hill, and with uncanny accuracy, smashed it against a BS light while someone was playing it, breaking them both.
Oh, what do you know? It can!
Dude, my BS! Are you even going to apologize to that guy?
Dexter said with shock that Luigi would do something like that.
Why should I when it's your BS? In fact, here, let me help ya.
Mr. L then shoved Dexter's wheelchair down the hill on a collision course with the person who had just lost his BS light.
Look out, Petticatty!
Dexter shouted. However, he was too late, because by the time Paracari managed to look away from the mess of plastic that was his BS and towards Dexter, he was already getting run over by the wheelchair. Dexter was flung from the crash and rolled down the hill. Luigi scratched 2 more people from his list.
Sweet! 2 birds with 1 BS. Let's see who's at the mall.
Word of Luigi's turn to the dark side spread through the kingdom rather quickly.
Did you guys hear that Luigi's gone to the dark side?
One of the Toad guards asked the others when he got the message. "You're kidding," said one of the guards incredulously. "What's he gonna do?"
He's probably screamed like a little girl until everyone loses their hearing.
Joked the third guard. Everyone bursted out laughing.
Or...
The first guard said between laughs.
He's going to hold all the mustache wax hostage until we pay the ransom!
The guards laughed even harder.
Hey, wait a minute. If Luigi went to the dark side, is his mustache evil too?
They all went silent at the spot. None of them had considered this. If Bob, that's Luigi's mustache's name, had turned against the Mushroom Kingdom, the outcome would be too horrible to comprehend. Only one voice broke the fearful silence.
Should we flee for the border?
At the Coconut Mall's infirmary,
I know those two should be around here somewhere. Those 2 should be around here somewhere.
Mr. L muttered to himself, looking for the 2 stretcher carriers. A loud bang was heard in the room next to him. Out of curiosity, he peered into the room to see Daisy slumped on the floor with a very large bruise on her forehead. Mr. L walked over to her as she fluttered her eyes open. Who am I?" Daisy asked as she looked around. Now that was an odd question, but it only took Mr. L a second to piece together that she must have gotten amnesia from constantly hitting her head on the shelf above.
Who are you?
Daisy asked when Mr. L hadn't responded. Mr. L remembered how she had rather violently broken up with him, and wondered why he didn't add her to the list earlier. He could tell her anything and she'd believe it. This revenge was going to be so sweet.
Don't you remember?
Mr. L asked solemnly.
You're the world's most famous dancing chicken!
I am?
Yeah! Hurry! You can't leave your fans waiting!
Oh, I better not. Thanks, kind stranger.
Daisy folded her arms behind her back and squatted down. Mr. L watched as she clucked and danced out of the infirmary, stifling his giggles. "Hey, that was pretty good," growled a voice behind Mr. L. Mr. L turned to see Bowser resting in one of the beds provided to those in the infirmary.
Whoa! What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at the actual hospital?
They wouldn't let me in. Since I steal the princess and stuff. Bunch of whiners. So they brought me here. Say, you seem familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?
No.
Mr. L said, hoping Bowser wouldn't be able to figure out his identity.
No, I definitely know you from somewhere. Steve, right? 3rd grade?
Sure.
You owe me a new Coop Tracy lunchbox, you jerk!
Bowser screamed as he lunged for Mr. L from his bed. Luigi quickly sidestepped Bowser's attack and screamed.
Ah! I'm not the Steve you think I am!
Oh, really? My bad. Back in 3rd grade, there was a Steve jerk who fell off the monkey bars and broke his shin bone on my lunchbox and dented it. So which Steve are you?
Steve Limburger.
Luigi lied.
Mr. L for short.
Cool. You in the evil business too?
Mr. L nodded.
Nice. Here's my card. Junior, get my lozenge. Nice. Here's my card. You call me up whenever you want to do lunch. As for now, I'm gonna pass out because I accidentally removed my IV when I lunged at you. Later.
Bowser waved by as his eyes closed. Then he went limp. Was all Mr. L could say.
Injured, coming through!
Shouted one of the stretcher workers from the day before. However, the lead toad failed to notice the unconscious Bowser on the ground and tripped. As the stretcher worker kissed the ground at high speed, Parakarry was flung from the stretcher and through the second-story window across the room. Since the lead toad was still clutching the stretcher on the ground, as the stretcher carrier in the back kept running, he was pole vaulted into the ceiling. His head broke through the 3rd floor J.C. Wendy's in one of the women's dressing rooms, where he was beaten by a handbag of the woman who was still changing. Mr. L decided that he got his revenge off of a technicality and scratched off the two stretcher carriers off of his list. Who was left?
Ampersand.
Yes, my favorite character. I think it's Toadler speaking.
Princess Peach! The guards have disappeared!
Hold on.
Peach lowered the phone from her ear.
What was that?
The guards have gone missing, Your Majesty!
Oh, that's what Toad's worth.
The guards
Yeah.
have gone missing, Your Majesty!
Toadler said as he flailed his arms about.
Were they kidnapped?
No! Those pansies fled for the boulder at Luigi's announcement of turning to the dark side.
Are you kidding me?
I'm the only person who remains in the castle. Well, me and that one guy in the dungeon.
We have a dungeon?
Honestly, do you know anything?
Huh?
Before Toadler could furrow his brow in frustration, the doorknob leading to Peach's room began jostling as someone tried to enter. Toadsworth and Peach exchanged looks before the former ran to the window and jumped out yelling,
Geronimo!
"What an idiot!" Mr. L tried the second of the double doors and found it to be unlocked. Peach watched as the door slowly opened with a long creak. Mr. L slowly revealed his face, narrowing his white eyes through his eye mask when the princess came into his line of sight.
Gee,
Luigi!
Mr. L barked.
Luigi is dead, and it was your doing, princess!
Mr. L shouted, pointing his black-gloved hand at the princess. Peach thought he had snapped. Mr. L was still walking towards her.
Maybe it's time you learn to let it go, princess. You never know what'll happen, will you? What trouble you'll cause!
Peach was backed into a corner.
Luigi, I mean it!
Mr. L leaned in close to the frightened princess, stroking his mustache with a sinister smirk.
Well, I know what trouble is gonna be caused.
Mr. L said, narrowing his eyes at the cowering highness.
What are you going to do with me?
Peach said, and Mr. L reached into his pocket for a sharp object. Mr. L reached into his pocket for a sharp object brought to do a little cutting with, if you know what I mean.
Oh shit, that's not my pocket. Hold on.
Yeah.
Shut up. Elsewhere, Mario is facing the wall, still attached to his chair. He was counting down from 3 in his head, hesitant to reach 0. The bottle of glue solvent was on the opposite wall, gathering dust. 3! Luigi had gone out to do heaven knows what, but if he was seriously thinking of switching to evil deeds, Mario had to do something fast. 2! Mario hoped that no one would come through the door since he looked extremely stupid squatted down with a chair on him like this. 1! Alright, time to man up. After all, desperate times call for desperate measures. 0! Mario raced backwards across the room at top speed. He hoped that the impact would be enough to knock the bottle to the ground. Mario was halfway across the room when the idea of simply taking the overalls off came to mind. But he didn't have time to focus on his stupidity, because he crashed with the shelf and fell to the ground, sure that his spine was now bent in half. Mario's plan worked. The bottle fell over in the wrong direction. It was now even more difficult to grab the bottle. Luckily, Mario's impulsive actions did provide freedom, because the chair broke to pieces on impact. Mario was now able to stand up straight, only the square seat of the chair attached to him. Rubbing his bruises, he grabbed the bottle and emptied its contents all over his pants. Then, with a loud rip, he removed the wooden square and raced out the door. But as he bounded off the porch, Mario did a double take. The doghouse Luigi had built in hopes of getting a puppy for Christmas, which he never did, had the word dog crossed out in red paint. In smaller print, Evil Lair was painted with the same red paint. Mario knocked on the roof of the lair 3 times, and Mr. L poked his head out.
What do you want? Oh, I see you've managed to escape. Congrats!
Mario noticed a glint of polished metal catching the sun's light.
Oh, and I see you've noticed my little friend here. He and Peach had a little get-together. You might not want to hear about it for a few days.
Mr. L hinted at Mario. Mario got the hint, and with all of the energy he had, he raced for the castle. No one was seen at the gate, nor in the rooms or the hallways of the castle. Mario was filled with dread as the eerily empty hallways continued, and he started to double guess himself if he was ready to see what wrath Mr. L held within him. In what seemed like a horrible eternity, Mario reached the double doors. With a shaking hand, he opened the door with a slow creak, and inside he saw the damage Mr. L had done with his 2 blades. In a corner, there lay the princess, with a bad haircut.
I saw that coming.
Oh, it was horrible!
Peach sobbed into Mario's arms.
He dragged me into the corner, and he reached into his pocket and pulled out a pair of scissors. I tried to fight him off, but a broken nail, the meanie.
Oi! Can someone help an old chap out? It appears I've fractured my ribcage and I'm having a tough go with the breathing at the moment.
A voice called out from outside the window. Mario peered out the window to see Toadsworth in a rather sticky wicket. His landing wasn't as soft as he had hoped when the impulse to act upon his cowardice instincts kicked in. That is a sentence. And his fragile old man frame was now horribly damaged. Mario started to head downstairs to help when Peach called out.
Mario, what happened to your pants?
Mario looked at the backside of his overalls and saw that a clean hole was ripped from the seat of Mario's pants, showing his red polka dotted boxers to the world. The plumber now recalled the horrible rip that sounded when he removed the chair seat, and realized the glue solvent hadn't settled. Grabbing a throw pillow from a nearby stool, Mario covered his behind and ran down the stairs. How many people saw his undergarments on his sprint to the castle? Well, the answer was clear when Mario checked his email inbox later that day. Countless photos taken from cameras of all megapixels. Countless photos taken from cameras of all megapixels took photos of Mario running down the street. Took photos of Mario running down the street with his undies flapping in the wind. Entire websites were dedicated to this even. And the BooTube videos, how they overly edited and added unfitting music to such photos as these. The comments were the worst of all, many of which many of which would have gotten your tongue cut off if you repeated them in the ancient tribal lands of Yoshi's Island. His reputation was ruined. You say something, Tanner?
No, I'm just picturing them all calling him the W word because he's Italian.
Mr. L admired his work from Mr. L admired his work from his lair, but in the grand scheme of things, these were just petty pranks. He needed to do something big, something that would really get the attention of the kingdom. Rifling through his pocket, he dug up the business card Bowser had given him earlier that day.
Maybe if I give the old Koopa a call.
Mr. L said aloud to himself. He punched in the number, and after some ringing, Bowser's voice came on the other end.
Hello, Bowser speaking.
Hey man, it's Steve from earlier today.
Steve, how's it going, man?
Yeah. I was wondering if you wanted to do a little project with me.
Mr. L said coolly, an evil smirk forming under his mustache. And so ends part 1 of this three-parter.
Oof, I was wondering when it was going to end. That was a long one.
And the others are even longer.
Oh my god.
That's why we're ending tonight.
Yeah, because, dude, I'm very tired. That being said...
That was a good chapter though. I enjoyed that.
Does anyone want to offer their thoughts? Because I have thoughts, and I'm sure you all do too.
Well, I had to reread this and its other chapters just to kind of get myself prepared for live reading. And that was the first time I'd read this trilogy in like over a decade, and for the most part I'd say it holds up. I was really looking forward to getting to these chapters because I mean it's just really some really good moments, and because this is the first chapter where the author kind of dropped the script format, it's more cinematic.
It definitely is, and I do like, despite it all being petty pranks, they really do go the full 9 yards in giving Luigi these intimidating villain tropes.
Like this is cathartic.
Yeah, I was expecting a much worse outcome at the end there. I'm very happy it was just a haircut.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of saw that coming because it's a very standard, like, cartoon gag.
Yeah.
But it was really funny.
Like this. This whole story up to this point has just kind of been hammering just how much of a crappy, twisted funhouse mirror version of the Mushroom Kingdom this story's world is, but this chapter basically takes the cake.
I was gonna say, this isn't the worst Luigi has ever suffered, like you implied, but it is the most in a society Luigi has ever lived in any chapter.
Yeah, everyone in the story is a petty, greedy, egotistical jerk, but it's ramped up to 11 here.
Oh yeah. It is definitely that. It's definitely his most humiliating experience. I'll be honest. that is probably the one thing is that it's weird because I would say in this story, everyone is the cruelest to him, but it's not the worst he's suffered. So I was gonna complain like, why is this what breaks him? But I guess it was the cruelty from others and everything building up to this point. So that complaint is kind of rendered moot.
Like I've never read the story before, and like I jumped in like completely unaware. So like from my standpoint, with this being the starting point of the story that I've seen, I don't know like what the baggage in the past involves, but honestly, like other than the medics in the mall, nobody was like exceptionally like specifically cruel towards Luigi. It was mostly just accidents, really.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, Mario kicked him.
yeah. I mean, Mario is a lot more like deliberately cruel in other chapters. He's played up as a weird, dumb, hedonistic gremlin thing.
I mean, I kind of could tell like there's a bit more to Mario because of the like throwing burning kittens out of the plane award. But
Yeah. I also do have to say that I know it's such a like I was worried that it's such a like fan servicey thing, and I guess it still is to bring in like, oh guys, remember Mr. L? But I will say I like the angle that he is, even when he's Mr. L, he's still kind of a loser.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
Mr. L's a concept was like less than 2 years old when this story was written.
yeah, so I guess it isn't fan service.
Oh my gosh, this is this like, of all the chapters of all the chapters in this story, this trilogy and one other were always my favorites to go back to. Like,
Mm.
just it's good stuff.
I
And
I will say also, I really like how based and leftist this is with its critique of the healthcare system, the Secret Service, and monarchies. Very based. I'm glad that this Mario fanfiction has good politics.
I mean, Bowser did legit get beat up for no reason. It was kind of took me
Yeah.
aback when I reread it.
That was
don't forget the critique about the nuts lawsuits.
yeah.
That also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I mean, I guess that's kind of ties into monarchies because it was
I mean,
Daisy.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
honestly, like Daisy literally killed Luigi in another chapter, and I think honestly, the lawsuit was the worst thing she did.
Yeah. That honestly, I was holding back laughter because that was a really well executed joke.
Like everyone, like Whimzilla went out of their way just to make everyone extra petty, just so Luigi would have an excuse to beat them up.
I do I do have to say that is one thing is that and this is compared to other chapters, and this is not every chapter. Because again, the hoagie scene was genuinely hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think the abandoning of the script format, it works dramatically a lot more, which this story is quote unquote more serious than the previous chapters, but and that is entirely relative. But I do feel like for the comedic moments that the prose format kind of hurt the timing of a lot of jokes.
I don't know. I guess I'm off and on that because I guess I had to live read all of it. Like certain things
Yeah,
just don't
and that
work
was
well in script format.
and that is the other thing is that I feel like I also could have done better with deliveries, but I say that every episode.
Yeah, you did
Yeah, and they're like
fine.
you were good, and also you're half asleep. So
Yeah, like considering that, you did a good job.
Yeah, but
So-
I really wanted to bring it for Mr. L. I really wanted
Well-
to play up a villainous.
Well, we have 2 chapters left, so
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like from my standpoint, like towards the end, you definitely like improved. I could say because like I definitely noticed that you got a bit more into character. Like at the start, it was kind of lethargic, but at the end, you definitely like
That's 'cause
went ham.
Yeah, that's because I needed a Coke. I got a Coke and that was good. I need cocaine. Again, if we go back to more episodes, I really do want to get into that. I really want to ham it up. I was just very tired today.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine, Tanner.
Yeah.
I just thank you for coming first and foremost. I was just I really want to get an episode before I moved out of this house.
Yeah, we weren't even sure if this was gonna be happening today.
I want more Bowser. Bowser rarely ever gets featured, but he's hilarious every time he's on screen.
As you can see, this
Here.
is Bowser. He's standing. He's a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, murder on my throat, but he's fun to voice. Uh, okay, yeah, I really enjoyed this chapter. It's just after 15 prior chapters, Luigi just being like Mother Nature's toilet.
Yeah.
It was just really satisfying to see Luigi kind of get to make everyone else get their just desserts.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah.
honestly, with the exception of Dexter, honestly, everyone kind of did deserve it.
Yeah, I don't
And-
know if Dexter really deserved that.
Dexter got the cruelest fate, weirdly enough.
Yeah, dude ended in a wheelchair over like, Black Friday
Yeah,
esque
yeah.
trampling. It's like,
Over, like a
mm,
fucking tickle me Elmo.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I am very happy that this chapter actually gives me closure on why Holdsworth suddenly disappeared from the Mario verse.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I guess it did. Yeah, Dexter is one of several OCs in this story. He's probably the closest thing to a friend Luigi has in the story.
Oh, and he's fun. He's a very fun character.
Apparently, some sort of frenemy, as it appears.
Yeah.
Oh, so we just got raided by the Real Billy with 5 people. This is probably not the best timing for this because we're about to end, but hi.
Yeah, but thanks for coming, everyone, to the end of this stream. If you want to see more of my OnlyFans, I'll post in the chat.
Oh dear. What was I gonna say? Yeah, sure you are. Yeah, Dexter is probably one of the nicer, relatively more level-headed characters in the story usually.
Bratty, but at most he's bratty.
Yeah, like his brother Tim is crazy though.
Yeah, no, Tim's fun. Tim is a limited instrument in that his sole comedic purpose is just to kind of say something fucked up. But every time that but Whimsilla knows how to utilize him as a limited instrument.
Yeah, like, oh man, it was
Is
just really fun to read.
Is Dexter some kind of Mario-verse creature as well, like a Koopa or something?
He's a toad, I think.
He's
It's a toad. Okay.
Dexter's dad's also fun, even if he is just kind of a standard cartoon dumbass dad.
Oh, thank you, the real Billy. Thank you.
What did he say?
He said this seems like a fun crew. To be fair.
Thanks for following as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give my West a bit of rest. These Toad Wests did kind of there was a lot more Toads than I expected. Let's put it that way.
You did a really good job with the Toad voice.
Yeah, you were amazing.
Yeah, your Toad voices were like really spot on.
I will say, this is not me insulting your performance, but for some reason, for like 3 characters, I could hear Curly Howard. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, thank you. Like, you went harder than I expected you to. I didn't think you were gonna voice like I didn't think you were going to voice like every minor character, but thank you.
Well, like every time a minor character came up, there was like an awkward pause. It was like, okay, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try filling more of those roles. And again, I will. You will all incur Mr. L's wrath eventually. But, yeah, tonight I am fucking exhausted. But eventually, you'll incur my fucking wrath. You'll all be taking L's from Mr. L.
Nice.
So thank you.
Sir,
Thank
sir,
you.
I'll be 24 coins, sir, please. 20 coffee.
kill you. I swear to God, these scissors are still rusty. And you know what? I'm thinking of dyeing them red.
Well, you know I got vaccinated against tetanus.
I
Get your shots, kids.
I
That's true. Get your shots.
I feel
may
like
be evil, but
I've-
I'm also healthy. Get your shots, kids.
I feel like
get
in
your
this
booster vaccines if you need them. That's optional, but if you feel like you need them, get them.
What are you saying, Harry?
I feel like at this point we could just totally ad lib L stands for loser episode.
Oh gosh, that's also that could be disturbingly interesting. Like
Just-
fanfic writers improvise in the style of another fanfic writer. That
Just
sounds
becomes a
scary.
it just turns into a complete disaster.
I did that once while writing an MLP episode. It quickly became about systemic racism. It was great.
Oh,
So, Sable, thank you for just coming on really, 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 really short notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Oh, we're gonna be recording right now. I was like, oh, okay. It's like 4:30 in the morning. I guess I'll scream into the microphone.
Fuck, you
Thank
gave
you.
more than me. It's only 11 where I am. But then again, I was at work. But goddamn, dude, you have a lot of. You're very fun. You've got a lot of charisma. You're a great
Yeah.
voice actor. And
Yeah, please join us for episodes when you feel like, because you've got talent and we need more talent.
Yeah, and again, yeah, I'm going to try to really bring the hammer, really go in, go hard, go deep, go in dry as Mr. L.
You better practice your evil cackling.
Lovely.
See,
Well
that's
done.
how we do it.
Yeah,
Although that was
Well
more like
done.
kind of like a mad scientist
that
cackling.
was more like a fucking like Joker kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, mad science.
yeah, more like the
I-
Calendar Man if we're sticking with the Batman.
Yeah.
So, I won't say when we'll come back for another episode because, well, I'm moving and I might be tired for like 2 weeks. But, yeah, we'll be back sometime and
Yeah.
we'll be back with people. I don't know who.
It's very fun, and I am honestly now I'm just fucking elated to play Mr. L.
nice.
I'm happy.
I have fun with this chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, we'll stay. I keep trying to call you Sable. If you, well, if you're interested, well, there's other chapters and plenty of other characters for you to voice because it's like, I guess I won't try and spoil too many things, but there's a lot of established Mario characters in the next chapter, so that's gonna be fun.
Well,
yeah.
unfortunately, the character I felt like was the funnest to play out of these like minor characters I ran, which was Toadsworth at the end there. I don't think he's coming back, is he? he's
Oh, no,
gone
he'll-
kind of mangled.
He'll show up in a
Master
he'll show up.
Mario.
I mean, Luigi, the main character, fucking died. I think Toadsworth has a chance. Actually, no, he has less of a chance now that since he's not a main character.
Maybe. Toadsworth will show up in this trilogy. I say, yeah, this 3-parter. He's okay.
So real
Um,
Billy is wondering like what's going on.
Okay, well, hello, the real Billy and other party of five. Hi, other party members that they have. This is called Storytime with Scrappy and Friends. I'm Scrappy, and these are all my friends.
Hello.
And I'm
Oh no,
Hi.
don't sell yourself short.
Oh
We
no, I'm
read.
saying I don't like you.
Love you too. We try to look for good quality fan fiction and try to bring it to life with our unique interpretations. And what we currently just finished reading was a story called The L Stands for Loser. It's a Mario fan fiction written by the Wimpzilla between 2007 and 2009. We'll pick stories we won't say at random, but we usually
No.
we do try to look and vet.
Yeah, no, we have like a bunch of stuff on standby as well. Usually I'm the one that has like a bunch of stuff like I'm trying to send over to Scrappy. And he's Scrappy's the one that is like the be all end all. Like we're gonna read this or we're not gonna read this and
Yeah.
all that.
I've picked a few fics. I picked an Always Sunny fic. That was fun. Generally, I pick the really piss takey and jokey fics.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not based on it's not based on any specific thing. Like any fan fiction that's like
Yeah.
published and safe for work is
Yeah.
eligible.
I mean, they
we read good fan fiction, and also sometimes we read Scrappy stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sometimes we read your stuff too.
That's fair.
I mean, if I ever end up getting off my arse, I might try writing stuff myself, but I can't promise anything good.
I need to get back to writing. I've just been fucking working, and when you go to work, I do this. Here's the process: is I'll get story ideas at work. Then I'll realize, oh shit, I should be doing my job. Because if I'm not looking at the dogs, because I work at a dog park, I work at a doggy day camp. It's like they could start fighting, or I'm
okay.
supposed to be squeegeeing something, and then it's like, well, I'll be so excited to write this when I get home, and I'm not. I ain't never excited to write when I get home.
Do
I
you...
just want to pass out.
Oh, fair enough.
Sometimes-
What you could do is get like a dictation app on your phone
Just
and like when you have like an idea, boot it up and just like say like in short, like a few
Yeah.
short words what the idea is, just so you can remember what it is.
Yes, and I have done that. I can't pull out my phone when I'm working in the dog yards. Also,
Oh, okay.
there's like
That's
cameras fucking everywhere, but which
Cameras
I
are
don't-
doing what?
There's yeah.
I just put that on because just so there's
Yeah,
something to look
they're
at.
testing Elon is testing his new literal cam girls at my place.
Oh
Which
dear.
I mean, we all know Elon's an incel, even if he is dating Grimes. He's an incel in spirit.
Jeez.
yeah.
The real-
He announced the taking of the red pill, didn't he?
Also,
Yeah, he did. He did. He also announced putting ads on the moon, which
real deal-
is
yeah,
probably the most Doofenshmirtzian thing I can think of.
I'm so sorry, Soviets, Tim Curry.
but yeah, the real Billy says, Tana, just entertain the dogs with your fanfics.
God, I'll see how many. Yeah, I usually work in the small yard, so I'll whisper some of the more off-color jokes that I make Deadpool say under my breath.
Jeez.
God, he's fun to
Ugh.
write though.
Bro, the next Tesla is actually gonna just be an innator.
It's gonna be. You see, Perry the Platypus, ever since I was a small boy, I always wanted a big titty goth GF. But my mother hated goth. She was a fundamentalist Christian who thought they were of sin and thought they were of sin. But now that I'm 37 years old, I can do whatever I want. So, to make a long story short, behold the Goth GFinator!
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
You're having a lot of fun
Ugh.
there.
Moving on. Okay, well, I think I got all my final thoughts out. I'll see y'all whenever. I don't know when I'll come back. I'm officially moving on Tuesday, so I'll probably be settled within a week or so.
Okay.
Yep, and I'll see when I'm not working. I will try. I do have days off, so I imagine I'll have more energy. If we can work in an episode on a day off, that'd be great.
Yeah, and maybe I'll actually schedule something so the Europeans can actually get up at a reasonable hour. My bad.
Yeah, because doing these story times at like 3 or something in my time is not particularly great.
See, now I feel bad for complaining. It's 11 p.m. where I am.
It's fine. Don't worry
Have a,
about it.
have a good night, Billy. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, normal streams will happen through me in the coming weeks, but, like, story time comes back whenever Scrappy is, like, set, like, to go and find in his new house and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, yes,
Uh,
thank you, Harry. Go on, Sable.
Oh, I thought, are we doing outros?
I
We
think we are.
Okay.
Alright, fair enough.
Right. Well, it was pretty fun to get on here. Short notice as it was. Uh yeah, it was nice to like do a little bit of voice acting again. I've done some like many moons ago. So it was pretty nice to get back into it again. And yeah, I'll see if maybe I can join future episodes. We'll see.
Oh, that would be great.
It'll be greatly appreciated. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the more people, the merrier. We definitely need that.
The more people, I heard the more people, the Mario,
I mean, yeah.
basically.
The more the Mario.
A Mario
And-
Party, as it were.
Yeah,
I hate you.
exactly.
I mean, there are four people in the call right now, so it's a full party.
Yeah.
So, and Luigi basically won by doing absolutely nothing in this chapter. That's
Fuck yes. Finally.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment. Those videos were the prophecy. This is Tanner Brown signing off, and Mr. L is living inside your walls.
oh my gosh. So yes, thank you, Harry Sable, for being up at these unholy hours.
Yeah, it's
Tanner,
yeah.
thank you for being here when you were exhausted and watching doggies.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank all of you watching for being a part of our audience for 48, 42 episodes and counting.
Yeah, and even though you came out in the like last little bit, thanks for the raid, Real Billy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, stop by again. Maybe I'll give a decent performance next time.
Make sure to check the VOD if you want to listen back to this bat crazy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
This was a fun chapter.
It involves sandwiches.
It does.
Yeah.
That scene was so goddamn funny. It's such a simple joke of just Bowser being assaulted despite doing nothing wrong, but it's just executed with the right level of absurdity.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think we should like end here because, good lord, it's
Yeah.
late. So yeah.
Tanner, Europeans, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Don't associate me with Europeans. But good night.
Yeah, I'll just end it with that. Bye,
Europeans, I'm sorry.
Bye, everybody.